Right. What's up, Blueprint family? Thank you all for joining us tonight. So, tonight's topic is about unlocking the stages of unfoldment in a relationship. So, imagine a relationship where you feel loved, supported, and understood. Imagine a relationship where you can be yourself and where you can grow and evolve. You can be your best self, your righteous self. So, this is a kind of relationship that is possible when you reach your full potential of your relationship, of course. So, in this video, we will explore the stages of unfoldment in a relationship and how we will learn to create a relationship that is fulfilling and supportive for both spouses.
Yeah.
So, we will also discuss common challenges that couples face and some tips for overcoming them.
Yeah. This is a cool topic because when you think about unfoldment, it's generally a natural process of like everything. You see this in many different aspects of life. And basically, for just definition purposes, unfoldment generally means to develop or become clear over time, and it is often accompanied by change and growth. So something that is unfolded is no longer hidden or concealed, and it is exposed to view, and its nature can be understood. So this is big. And tonight we're going to apply this into a relationship so that we can reach our full potential, like you said, within your relationship. Oh no, what's that? Hold on, the pop-up things. I don't know what that is. What app that is. I don't know.
Relationship unfoldment can be seen as the process of discovering and understanding the true nature of a relationship. As spouses spend more time together and share more experiences, they learn more about each other and about relationship itself. This can lead to a deeper appreciation for the relationship and a stronger commitment to make it work.
Yeah. It's important to remember, though, that relationship unfoldment is an ongoing process. So this is going to apply to the, earliest of relationships, ones that are just in the beginning stages, from the dating part all the way to, the long-term committed relationships that have been together even for a really long time. I mean, even your long-term couples are continuously growing and learning from each other. You should. Me and my spouse, my husband, we've been together for almost 11 years next month. Great thing, married, we'll be officially married, 8-9 years, legally married. But within all of that, 8 years, yeah. So within all of that, though, we have every day learned and grown from each other. It's a constant process of, life unfolding before both of your eyes. So it's going to continuously happen throughout your whole relationship. And that's kind of the beautiful thing of, a relationship. In particular, if you allow yourself to really give into the different stages of it and seek to really maximize, right, your best potential in that stage. What are the things that you can do that will really help you to unlock the fullness of that stage that you're in? So then you can, go to the next more fulfilling, satisfying stage. And overall, it's going to help you to be more resilient in each stage you go through, because you've actually looked to kind of complete the stage like a video game, right? So you're actually looking to gain all the points that you can so that then you can utilize that for the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. So it's overall nice process.
There are many different ways to view the stages of unfoldment in a relationship. Tonight, we are going to cover 7 stages of relationship unfoldment and how to best unlock the full potential of that stage.
Yeah, I do want to check into our chat because we were a little late tonight. So, of course, to always thank you all for joining us and being here with us. And we always appreciate YouTube, checked in good. And hold on, let me click over to Instagram. Thank you, Instagram and Facebook, for joining us. I think today will be a great show, of course, per usual.
So number 1, attraction. So this is the stage where you and your spouse are first getting to know each other and feeling drawn to each other. It's a time of excitement, curiosity, and infatuation.
Yeah. We've talked about that before. I think
Yeah, that's one of our early videos about
Mhm.
the stages of relationship.
Yeah. But in particular, to unlock this stage, we can break this attraction down into multiple aspects. So it's first, of course, you have your physical attraction. This can, really it's going to play differently based on your own way of wanting to look and appeal. But if you are on a first date, right, we're talking about beginning stages, always choose an outfit that helps you to feel confident, to be attractive. This can, it can be something as simple as jeans or in a t-shirt or a dress or a more formal dress, whatever you're more comfortable in, you feel you're most confident in. And of course, make it, I think for first dates, when it comes to women, to be appropriate, right? You want to set a good example on your first date of how you would look to usually appeal to, others. But when you meet your date, of course, physical attraction goes as deep as making eye contact, being sure to smile and show them that you're interested and, showing that you're enjoying yourself. All of that is, of course, a big part of that whole aspect of physical attraction. And then always we encourage that you take the opportunity to, or look for the opportunities in particular to touch, offer in that light touch on the arm, the shoulder, the back. All of this is a subtle way to show that you're attracted to this person and you're looking to, get deeper into knowing them. And certainly use your words, compliment your date, and, everyone loves a compliment. So go ahead and offer sweet words that will help them also feel good about themselves.
And then emotional attraction. If you're trying to develop emotional attraction with someone, be open and honest about your feelings. So, be intentional about this relationship. This doesn't mean that you have to tell them you love them right away, but it means sharing your thoughts and feelings with them, listening actively to them when they talk to you, and ask them questions about your life. Show them that you're interested in getting to know them. Be supportive to their goals and dreams, and offer to help them achieve them, and to do thoughtful things for them, like making them dinner or giving them a message. So also we have intellectual attraction. To develop intellectual attraction, this with someone, have stimulating conversation with them. Also, you both can talk about topics that both interest you. So this could be anything from current events to philosophy, or your favorite books. So you share knowledge and experiences with them and ask them questions about theirs. So
Yeah.
be open to new ideas and perspectives as well. So even if you don't agree with them, and challenge each other intellectually, not to argue. So this shows each other that you're intelligent and that you're interested in learning and growing.
Yeah, these are all ways just to really maximize that first time meeting each other, how to deepen that experience and those attractions. Because we always talk about, attraction isn't just physical attraction, it definitely goes into deeper things. And a lot of people will honestly always admit that it's always attractive when somebody is emotionally aware of themselves, emotionally intelligent. That's always a plus. And then certainly just intelligent within yourself, especially when you're looking to, women, when we're looking to have a leader within our lives, you want that man to be very intellectual. So it's always nice to, tell the woman the things and look to I guess impart that knowledge upon her so that she can hopefully learn from you and grow as well. It's always a great thing.
Do women look for intellectual men?
They should. That was one big one for me.
Yeah,
Now
but you're
I'm
not
granted
every
the fact,
woman, but
yeah,
on
granted the fact I'm a
average.
big intellectual, so I care about that. But I would hope so. If you're looking for a man to lead you, you certainly want him to be intellectual, intelligent, to have that thought process, the ability to discern, research, gather information, that is huge.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
especially
But
as a
yeah,
man.
it's a lot of dynamics
Yeah, to
to
it
it. And a
though.
lot of females don't necessarily look for men who are intellectual. Um, and that, that, like my wife said, that discernment is not there. So that needs to be matched up.
Yeah,
So shared
certainly.
values and interests. To find shared values and interests with someone, spend time with them by doing activities that you both enjoy of course. So this could be anything from going for walks to playing video games or volunteering together. Talk to them about your values and beliefs and see whether your values align, and be respectful of their values and beliefs, even if they differ from your own. So if you're willing to compromise on both things, on these things that they are important to you both, so you'll be more likely to find common ground and build a strong relationship. So you'll have a foundation there.
Yeah, that's big. It's never too early to talk about the things that you really value. I think that's super important. That's not something that should be weighted on, especially because these are the things that are really important then that make up you as a person. And also, it's a great opportunity to really get to know like someone like, hey, what makes you who you are, And that's really based off of their own values and their beliefs and their principles and the things that they stand on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, that's overall for the whole stage one, though. This is the easy beginning stage. I think that's a real fun stage. So I don't think we mentioned it, but certainly look to have fun during all of these stages, but especially in the beginning, this can be a time where you want to, especially if you're, I guess, in the rush phase where you really want to settle down and you're really, trying to get into a relationship, you can want to rush this and not really enjoy it. Sometimes you may go, like my husband said, go all in too soon, telling somebody you love them and all that other stuff just because you're so, wrapped up in the excitement that the stage can offer. But in order to really enjoy the unfoldment of something and to really encourage it, just go with the flow, take your time, allow the momentum to pick up on its own and not so much, try to rush things too much.
So now we're in the new relationship energy stage. So this
Yeah.
is the stage where you're head over heels in love with your spouse. You can't get enough of them, and you spend every waking moment together. So to unlock the full potential of this stage, cherish the newness and excitement of the relationship. Spend time together regularly. This doesn't mean you have to be there 24/7, but it means
Yeah.
making time for each other on a regular basis. Go on dates, take walks together, take trips, cuddle, watch TV together, watch movies, continue to get to know each other on a deeper level,
Yeah.
and
This
be and
this
be
is the
open and
honeymoon.
off. I'm sorry, be open and honest with each other. So this means being honest about your thoughts, feelings, and needs. It also means being honest about your past and your present. When you're open and honest with each other, you'll build true trust and intimacy. And don't forget to nurture your physical connection as well.
Yeah. That is, of course, the honeymoon stage. I often like to correlate that to that new relationship, high energy, lots of passion there. You're really just excited to be with each other and spending that time. Of course, here is just really the deepening your what's going on in your mind, your feelings, being honest. I think here is big too about your past and getting vulnerable, and also too your present. What are your goals and stuff, being really vulnerable in your mind and emotions will really help you deepen yourself on this stage. In particular, it can be a little nerve-wracking, especially if you have some type of trauma connected to relationships. It's always encouraged during this time that if you feel some resistance, right, some urge to not, go deeper with your spouse when questions or opportunities arise, or any type of resistance that may come up in a moment where really should be a chance of vulnerability, consider, getting some third party help, some talking to a friend, a family member, someone who you really trust so that you can really come at ease during this stage. Because again, it can cause some angst if you have like commitment issues or like abandonment issues. This is a common stage where this will come up because here you're really excited and you love everything that's going on, but then you also got the other hand of that where it can make you nervous, right? So just honoring yourself and really paying attention to yourself during the time is big.
And next, we have the settling in stage. So after the initial excitement of the new relationship
Mhm.
stages wear off, you and your spouse start to settle into a routine. So this is
Yeah.
time where you're getting to know each other on a deeper level, and you're starting to build a life together. So to unlock this full potential of this stage, be honest with each other and your needs and expectations. Make sure you lay all of this stuff out, your barriers, your your realistic expectations and what have you. Communicate openly about your finances, your future goals, and your household responsibilities, your do's and don'ts, and still make sure to schedule time for yourself, even when you're busy.
Yeah. Here are some general signs that show that, you're progressing pretty well in the settling in stage. So, of course, you should feel comfortable and at ease with your spouse during this time. Again, you should really be able to talk to them about everything. You should be able to communicate openly and honestly. You should be able to be yourself and not, dim yourself down. You shouldn't be worried about being too much for your spouse or nervous or even just trying to pretend to be someone you're not. During this stage, if you are in this stage, you would know you're progressing well if you're, able to completely be yourself. Also, you should be able to at least resolve some conflicts in a healthy way during this time. So hopefully by this time you have had some type of conflicts you had to work through. We don't run away from conflicts over here. You have to recognize that conflicts always offer the opportunity for growth and change. So really don't run away from those opportunities to actually dig in deep and resolve. If you find out that y'all don't have any type of conflicts, maybe look for where you guys could be avoiding conflict, where you're avoiding those deep conversations because you're maybe scared of having, some type of disagreement or something like that. Don't be afraid of that, but also, take in consideration where you might have learned to run away from things like that. So that's important. You should also be, of course, enjoying each other's company, like you were saying, and looking forward to spending that time with each other. So you'll know, like, for sure that this is someone that I'm excited to call when something goes up great, call when something goes, bad. All of that is a big thing within the settling stage.
The settling stage is a time of growth and development in the relationship, and it is time when you are getting to know each other on a deeper level, like I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And building a strong foundation. Really, that's a big part for pretty much the next part that you're going to get into. I think, I don't know, you can't really put a years wise on this unfoldment part, I don't think,
We did
because
before.
well,
So we had
yeah,
a timeline on all of
the
this.
stages of like how it could go. But I think it's important to remember that you can bounce back and forth between like the um dating part, that maybe especially if you struggle with some type of trauma that's not allowing you to commit. I think it's very well possible that you could bounce in between the new relationship energy stage and the settling in stage part, where you're like, oh, a little fearful, so then you may, back out of things. So even in your settling in stage, you may be hesitant to move in together or hesitant to even, deepen your intimacy with each other. All of those things are important to pay attention to make sure that you're, progressing through. And if I'm thinking back to when we talked about relationship stages before, I would think maybe like if you're talking about the honeymoon stages between it can go up to like 2 years, then the settling in stage is probably like anywhere between like 2 to 3 years maybe worth of being with someone,
Mhm.
where you're really, really settling in and to see and actually planning,
I'll say like 3 to 6.
You say 6 years?
Hmm.
Wow. That's a
Because
long
in
time.
6 years, yeah, that's where you have your crisis stage. You remember?
Yeah, which is actually next.
Right.
Yeah.
So the next stage is the power struggle stage. Because even though in a relationship, you still don't really know, even though you think you know everything about somebody, it takes about like sometimes 5 years to really get to know them, see their habits and things, because often at times people may think the relationships change.
Yeah.
So the next stage is the power struggle stage. So this is the stage where you and your spouse start to test each other's boundaries. You may start to argue more often, and you may feel like you're not being heard. So the power struggle stage of relationship unfoldment is a natural phase that many couples go through. So you're well past your honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
You're settled in and things like that. So you're seeking another deeper level of understanding, and you are starting to see each other's flaws and imperfections.
Yeah.
You get irritated and frustrated with these things, and you may try to want to change these things. So this can lead to conflict and power struggles as each of you tries to assert your own needs and wants.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things to realize about this power struggle stage is that your spouse is not perfect. Everyone has flaws and imperfections. This does not mean that you do not love your spouse or that you should not be with them. It simply means that you need to learn to accept them for who they are, flaws and all.
Yeah, that's a big one. This
Not
is a big one.
abuse, though. We're
Yeah.
not talking about abuse, verbal, physical, or emotional, any of that.
Yeah.
But also, too, you need to realize too that in this phase, working together and communicating is the best thing that you can do
Yeah.
to try to overcome this stuff. And
Yeah.
then you can't make people change. You can only inspire change. That's all. It's up to them if they want to be receptive to change.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be at peace with as well. Not trying to change people. Don't do that. Stop that.
Yeah. Yeah. The power struggle stage is really, like you were saying, and I think in particular is that stage of complete acceptance where you really come into
Habits,
yeah,
habits and all.
accepting it
Whatever
all.
they do in the
Yeah.
dark, they do it in the light. All
Yeah.
of that. And you may be
Yeah.
surprised by it, but that's just them, and then that's who you love. So don't even try to change these people. Just understand who they are, understand their flaws and everything.
And don't run from it too.
Right.
Because sometimes I think this is again a stage where people can get intimidated, especially when you start living with the person, you've been living with each other for a while, and you really see like, wow, like this is a lot. Am I supposed to be with this person? Yeah, it's a normal part. You will realize even in the next relationship, you're going to go through this stage. It's going to happen. It's a natural part of an unfoldment, right? Because this is a person that you're merging lives with. So they had a whole nother life built on its own habits and behaviors long before you that you were not aware of. So same as for you. So it's just coming into the awareness that, this is okay. We're not all perfect. We all have flaws, and you just got to really accept, like, hey, this is my spouse. Of course, though, I think it is important to note here, if you certainly before you get married, especially, I would encourage really think about if this is something that you're willing to live with for the rest of your life. Like, not if your spouse, of course, you want your spouse to grow and to change. But if your spouse never did, if they never grew and changed, if they stayed who they are at this very moment in time, are you okay with that? And are you willing to accept that? Because a lot of resentment can come in if you just, like you were saying, deep inside, hoping to change your spouse. Like, oh, I hate this habit, but I can hope to change it. Like,
I mean, the hard thing is the timing of this, because normally, like I
mhm.
said, it's between that 3 to 6 year window. You're
Yeah.
already married. All of this
Well,
stuff comes out.
possibly depends. You would hope so if
Right.
you, yeah,
That on the timeline that we had, you should be married by then.
or at least
Because
well on
normally your
engaged.
honeymoon
Yeah.
is while you're married.
Well, no,
You know.
not the honeymoon phase. I mean, the honeymoon phase of the relationship is a little different than like a legit honeymoon of
Right. Yeah. Of
yeah,
course. Yeah.
that's the
But
only. But that can come at like different times. I think it just really depends on how fast you all are moving, through that
I
relationship.
think it's more so how long you all been together, living together. Then all of this stuff comes out, especially while you're living together. You start to see more flaws and imperfections of somebody.
Yeah,
They get on
whether
your
or not you're
nerves
married
more,
or not. Yeah,
right? Because you
yeah,
don't have a place of retreat
yep,
a lot of times.
yep,
So here are some tips for navigating the power struggle stage of the relationship unfoldment. One, communicate openly and
yeah,
honestly. So being honest about your thoughts, feelings, and needs. It also means being honest about your spouse's flaws and imperfections.
yeah,
So be willing to compromise about those things. So no two people are exactly alike. So there will be times when you need to compromise with your spouse. So this doesn't mean giving up on what is important to you, but it does mean being willing to meet them halfway. So that does mean sometimes you may have to give up what's important to you if it's something that frustrates them as far as a hobby or habit
yeah.
that's not detrimental to themselves or the spouse.
And
You
it should, of course, be something you can live with. I always think
right.
of a compromise needs to be, it doesn't, you both don't have to be completely happy, but it's got to be something you can live with. You both can live with. So that's a big one. Of course, during this power struggle stage, focus on your spouse's strengths, right? It's so easy to pay attention to those, flaws and those imperfections, especially when they're in your face. I think of the time, after all the endorphins, we always talk about that, the endorphins of the new relationship, that new relationship energy and all of that. Once that wears off, you it's like cleaning your glasses, right? You can actually see who your spouse is. So in that time, though, it's super easy to focus on those flaws and just let it, you know, bring conflict within your relationship. But if you can redirect that focus and really make an effort to pay attention to your spouse's strengths, the things you do love and appreciate about them, it's really going to help you, overall feel a lot better in the whole process of going through this, because it does certainly get better. The timing, I think a lot of it is a mental game. As quickly as you can come to accept and find peace, the quicker you can move through, that whole unfoldment stage and actually be able to, utilize it as an opportunity of, hey, I know how my spouse is. I know how they're going to act. I know how they behave. I can, trust that hopefully within their character. I know, this is who they are, and I know this is who they'll say they'll be at all times. So hopefully, along with coming into awareness of some flaws, it gives you some, comfort in knowing a little more about your spouse and who they really are and genuinely are.
Seek professional help if needed, of course. So if
Yeah.
you and your spouse are struggling to navigate this power struggle stage of your own on your own, consider seeking professional help with a therapist. Just don't quit and give up. So a
Yeah.
therapist can help you and your spouse to communicate more effectively, resolve conflict in a healthy way, and build a stronger relationship.
Yeah, we're also available for consultations.
Yep.
Wifeconomics.com/schedule consultation. We're great for really being able to realize, some great tips of being able to channel that energy in a different way. Because, yeah, just realizing that your spouse is not perfect is a big part in the whole unfolding of a relationship. It really will help you, to allow yourself to see you who you are, see who your spouse really is, and just love each other on a deeper level of acceptance and intimacy. So it's a beautiful stage too. It's a tough one, but it could really be a nice stage once you get through it.
Yeah, but next is growing together stage. So once you've weathered the power struggle stage, you and your spouse can start to grow together. So this is a time where you're supportive of each other's goals and dreams, and you are working together to build a future together. To unlock the full potential of this stage, be there for each other through thick and thin. Encourage
Yeah.
each other to pursue their passions and to celebrate each other's successes. And make time for regular check ins to talk about your relationship and your goals for the future. So,
Yeah.
this is the stage where you and your spouse decide to make a long term commitment to each other. This may involve getting married, having children, or simply buying a house together or what have you. So, to unlock the full potential of this stage, be honest with yourself and your spouse about your commitment to the relationship. Are you both on the same page about your future goals? What are those goals? Are you willing to put in the work to make your relationship last? If so, then go for it.
Yeah, this is that's of course, I think a good stage of clarity. It offers a great opportunity to be clear with each other and offer the time to really, hopefully make those long-term commitments that let you know, like, hey, we're in this, we're going to do this. And of course, I think it sets it up beautifully for the next part, the next stage, which is the spiritual commitment stage. So in this stage, this is where couples really share that deep spiritual connection. You should really start to feel a sense of oneness with your spouse, actually coming in and connecting and merging and feeling supported and loved by each other at this time. You really need this spiritual connection because it's going to help you to be committed to each other, to actually grow and evolve with each other, especially long term spiritually. So there are a few ways that you can actually deepen this within your relationship. Of course, this is going to be, based off of your own spirituality, how you know, go about your practices within your life. But some simple ways you can spend some time praying together, or you can meditate together. That's a great thing to do. It's just a way to quiet your mind and connect with each other on the spirit side, because our souls are all connected. So often you find that you can read spiritual books together or articles. You can swap different things that you learn about throughout your day that can, deepen your spiritual knowledge. Of course, spiritual services, you can attend those together if that's your thing, whether it's something within the community, or something that, you do within each other. Maybe you have your own rituals that you all like to do with each other. That's always a beautiful thing. We always think about, talking, of course, to each other about your spiritual beliefs and your practices very early on, whether or not these are some things that you're willing to, unfold more about. If you want to know, dig a little deeper into maybe your spouse's religion, what they grew up on, or their mindset on spirituality, all of that. If that's something you're into, being open to really figuring out if that's something you want to do. And of course, volunteering together is a great way that you can, go out and serve others, as well as deepen the connection within, together. So that's a beautiful thing. And I think a big part when it comes to unfoldment overall within our lives, right? Because we're spiritual beings. I honestly believe having a earthly experience. So if you really tap into that, I really think you can deepen your relationship in some profound ways.
Here are some examples of how spiritual commitment can manifest itself into a relationship. Couples may feel a deepened sense of connection and oneness with each other. They may feel like they are part of something larger than themselves.
Yeah.
Couples may feel supported and loved by each other on a deep level. They may feel like they can be themselves around each other, of course, and they are accepted for who they are. Couples may be committed to growing and evolving together spiritually. They may support each other in their spiritual practices and encourage each other's growth spiritually.
Yeah.
So here are also number 7, which leads to the relaxation and finding flow. So this is a stage where you and your spouse have been together for a long time and you've learned to navigate the ups and downs of life together. You're pros at this. You're
Hmm.
comfortable with each other and you know that you can always count on each other.
Yeah. In particular, though, this is important. I do want to say, from the spiritual aspect, I think in order for you to unlock this next part, the whole relaxing and finding flow, you really have to relax into that spiritual evolution of yourself, because this is huge when it comes to actually getting into that rhythm and finding that flow. And in order to have, flow, it's really a big part of, just letting go. Like you were saying, it's really a time where you and your spouse, you have to be comfortable with each other and let that, all preconceived notions, kind of letting those go. Anything that, you may have trauma or attached beliefs to that, or negative associations with certain things, learning how to let all that go. That's a beautiful part of the relaxing and flow stage.
Yeah. So this is an important stage to get to because relaxing and finding flow allows you to be more successful of the unfoldment, because it allows us to let go of our preconceived notions and expectations and open up to new possibilities. So when we are relaxed, our minds are more receptive to new information and ideas when we are in flow. So we are fully engaged in the present moment and we are not distracted by thoughts of the past or the present. This state of mind allows us to see the world more clearly and to perceive opportunities that we might otherwise miss.
Yeah, I think that's big, in particular because in order for you to be in the present moment, you have to be engaged on like life and not distracted by the thoughts of what's going on, what happened in the past, what's happening in the future, in that present moment of being here with each other. And that's really going to help you all to, connect and grow with each other. Of course, some simple tips for being able to deepen that relaxing flow is to be present in that moment when you're spending time with your spouse. Make an effort to connect with them, put away your phones, other distractions, focus on each other, focus on that moment that you're sharing. Really be intentional about the time that you spend together. And being mindful of like your body language, making eye contact, smiling, touching your spouse gently, loving them in a compassionate way, not, being rude or neglecting them, and just showing them that you're interested in them and their company. That's a big thing, especially if y'all are like really busy in your day-to-day life and you don't get the time to connect with each other. So it's always nice to actually be intentional about wanting to connect with your spouse.
Be a good listener. So when your spouse is
Yeah.
talking to you, really listen to what they have to say. So don't interrupt or try to fix their problems. Just listen and offer
Yeah.
your support. So be
Yeah.
affectionate as well. So show your spouse that you love and appreciate them through physical touch. Hug them, kiss them, and cuddle with them as well. So also to be playful. So don't be afraid to let loose and have fun with your spouse. Play games together, joke, laugh together. Just enjoy each other's company. Don't take things too seriously or personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, these are really that this is really just to get you to kind of let go and not take life so serious. Relationships should be fun. And that's the cool thing about actually doing a relationship and doing life in a relationship, because you have someone that's there with you to share those moments with you and you can really go through life with. It's always a nice, beautiful thing. And, the whole relationship unfoldment is just a beautiful process that's really going to help you, deepen your connection and actually help it to sustain for a long, long time. And of course, help you to overall become a better person and within your relationship and within yourself. So we really encourage you to ask yourself, what is one thing that you can do to really unlock the full potential of your relationship? Where are some aspects where you may still need some work? Where could you all really grow? Are you still in the settling in stage, or maybe are you even in the new relationship stage or the power struggle stage? All of the things that we went through tonight are really some things that can help you deepen whatever stage you're in and be able to take those same skills and utilize it for the next stage of your relationship. Because of course, this isn't just all the it's so many more stages that we could go into when it comes to a relationship. There are so many different things that ways a relationship can grow. But for the sake of time, in general, these 7 stages, if everyone in your relationship can focus on those stages, you will really be able to unlock the full potential overall within yourselves and get your relationship to kind of evolve and become the best it can be, especially over time. Yeah. This is a simple Monday topic that we're getting into. We have definitely missed our comments. Let me go in. Hold on. See, we had some. We joined in late, so we hadn't gotten the chance to look in. I'm going to zoom in so I can see, because my eyes is looking a little. Hold on. What was it? It was the Windows Plus button, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so says, how do you get through the growth stage if you are growing differently? What if you are dating someone who has a different religion? Those are really great questions. Really great questions. In particular, which one do you want to start with? Because it's kind of
Of course,
chill.
the first one.
Okay, go ahead. Go. What do you think?
How you get past the growth stage?
Yeah.
All right, the growth stage was which one was exactly the growing stage? Was that 3 after the honeymoon?
Well, yeah, you have first hold on. So we got specifics so we can break this down a little bit more. But of course, you have your attraction stage. That could be the growing stage, depending, because then you have your new relationship energy stage, where in that point, y'all should still, you should already have
How,
grown to
how
the
do you get
point of
past
being
the
together.
growing stage? It all depends on how where what do you call the growing stage?
Yeah. Is it the attraction part, or are you in a relationship already, or not quite there if you're still dating?
Right, because I guess what she's trying to say is turning that corner into marriage, if that's the assumption.
Possibly.
Because where there has to align, there has to be alignment there. So it has to be the intention of wanting to get married. So that is how you get past the growing stage, I would say, in the relationship, is recognizing the fact that you both want to get married to each other. So you do the things that married people do. You move in together, and then eventually what happens is that you get into that stage of the struggle stage where you start seeing each other's flaws. So you have to communicate to get through that part. So you're still growing. So whether you know it or not, or whether you realize it or not, throughout a relationship, you continue to grow because there's opportunities for growth in a relationship. And often at times that comes with disagreements. So you have to learn to compromise. You have to learn to compromise and negotiate and resolve conflicts.
Yeah.
So that is how you get over that growth stage, I would say.
Yeah, if you're growing differently. I mean, because then the other aspect, I guess, in my mind would be maybe like the attraction part. If you haven't even figured out if you're in a relationship yet, right? And you're still trying to get the guy or girl to, commit to you or find interest in you a little more, then maybe working on that attraction part that we talked about. So really being able to figuring out ways of deepening your physical attraction, your emotional attraction, asking those questions, really seeing if y'all really align, especially if you're saying we're growing differently. Well, how is that? Like, are you still aligning on those core values and like my husband's saying, the core intentions? That should be one big way where you have to make sure that you're in agreement in, because if not, then you're going to be growing apart, not so much growing together. So that's a big one. But, of course, working on those, big intellectual attraction, that listening to each other intently, the emotional attraction, all of that, being able to really take the time and develop that, I think would do well when it's trying to grow into actually wanting to have a relationship with each other, especially if you're trying to get comfortable with each other. Because I think a lot of times, a lot of it is, not quite being comfortable with each other, not quite knowing, is this someone who I can be vulnerable with? So I think all of that takes time too. The other question she had was about what if you are dating someone who has a different religion? That is, of course, we kind of hit on that a little bit as we were going through the religion one, but that is really a personal, super personal one, because you got to be willing to, I can't see an atheist working with someone who's a hardcore Christian. So that's, the extreme of it. But if you are more on the edge of, open spirituality, being open to hearing what other
What do you think
religions are.
what answer do you have for her?
Well, that would be that. Just it really depends on if you're open to it. If you're open to exploring and learning about different religions or different spiritual practices, then I think that would be a great way for you to even to expand your own, thought, your own, experiences based off of, different other religions that you learn from and you can grow from. Because you don't necessarily have to be like a hardcore Christian and absolutely nothing about Buddhism or something like that. Sometimes it's worth it to listen and see what other, religions or spiritual practices there are, to see, what you actually like and might want to adopt into your life. So it's just really about, I think, how open-minded you are on the whole process, because religion is or spirituality in general is such a personal thing.
Well, her question is what if you are dating someone who has a different religion?
Well, that's mine.
The answer is this. Are you willing, if this man proposed to you, are you willing to marry him?
Right. How
Because
open are you?
because the thing is this, you will have to accept his religion more than not. Natural in this natural world, women more so um they accept the religion of the husband, being the fact that the husband is the head of the household majority of the time. So when it comes down to the decision of religion, it's usually the man's religion that the family goes by.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the bottom line. It really is. So you have to be prepared to love this man and also to be a part of the religion that he is. And that's how it works. So that is the bottom line answer of what if you're dating someone who has a different religion. You're not necessarily married to this person yet, but the longer you date this person, you have to entertain the thought and the idea of assimilating into his religion.
Yeah.
Because it won't work any other way.
Especially getting children involved.
Yeah.
Having children, because then this is the same thing with like politics. You kind of gotta come into some agreement so that you can pass on those same thoughts, ideologies onto your children. They're gonna look and see if mommy and daddy ain't in agreement.
Not unless the husband is okay with you accepting or continuing your religion. But it will be kind of different and a dynamic, like my wife said, involving the children and seeing what religion they will be raised under.
Yeah.
Those are your morals, those are your principles, those are your values and guidelines. So that is how it normally works.
Yeah. And then you would want to be equally yoked in the sense of mind. When I think of equally yoked, I think of mind and mentality, and principles play a huge part in that. So especially if that's your governing body, if these are the things of which you know, go by, these are your laws, this is what you know, you operate from. If that is for sure something that, like my husband was saying, if that's not something that you're willing to do, then, you know, you probably shouldn't be dating somebody that, you know, yeah, doesn't pretty much align with you.
Yeah, because whether you're a Christian trying to date a Muslim, those values are quite different in how
Yeah.
day to day in life goes. So
Right.
there's a lot of life changes and a lot of situations to where you're not normally, used to. So that's something that you really have to consider, especially in the dating stage. You have to consider whether you're going to assimilate into that type of culture or that religion or not. So the choice is up to you, and understand, like I said, in the natural world, women assimilate to men's cultures and their religions. So
Yeah.
that's how it normally works.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah, that is true.
So anyone else have any other questions? We love questions. We love comments. We really appreciate it.
Sorry,
Like you said.
we ran through them things
No, we
earlier.
didn't.
We just missed it. Well, I feel like we missed them,
Oh.
but because we were running through the topic.
Yeah, I guess next time we just need to do a side by side and read.
Yeah.
Have that up there instead of behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, those would be good topics that we can discuss as a show during the week to dive deeper into it, I guess. I don't know. I was just throwing that out there. But with that being said, Blueprint family, thank you all for joining us tonight. And we hope to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place.